What's poppin' world? Back at it again with another video for y'all. This nighttime version of the Headed Game podcast. Y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. All right. So I'm just using Dragonball Super as probably like a microcosm of the big picture when it comes down to like modern day anime in comparison to how it used to be like in the 90s, early 2000s, things of that nature, right? Dragon Ball Super, and I feel like the OG Dragon Ball Z heads, you feel me, would understand this. And I'm not expecting everybody to agree, but I think I'm on the side of the consensus with this, right? Reason why we don't respect Dragon Ball Super is, well, I'll just speak for myself and I'll let y'all viewers just agree or disagree. Y'all do what y'all do. One of the glaring things I've seen that I was highly disappointed was Vegeta was just too much character development for me. Like, they made him too much of a side character than the antagonist, right? He was kind of like in between, interchangeable between antagonist and side character, just depending on the circumstances and the situation, so on and so forth, right? I don't like how he's more in the background. He's like a Yamcha or a Tien. He grouped up with them Krillin, Piccolo. Yeah, he a side character now. He's not like the typical antagonist that just jumps in and jumps out of. Like, I feel like they should have gave Vegeta his own side story, right? Like, he should have just moved on, so on and so forth. So that's my first problem, right? Second problem is I don't like they had a lot of character development on Goku, right? Now Goku, you would say, oh yeah, fun, loving, carefree, just easygoing kind of guy. But if you would check out, towards the end of Dragon Ball Z, there was a lot of maturity inside of Goku that he has reached, especially when he was able to get down and stuff like that. I think he took his fights a lot more serious. I think he took the stakes more serious, and it wasn't none of these corny lines of "I'll show you how powerful I can be." Like, it wasn't like, I don't think he acknowledged the Super Saiyan, but it wasn't like a self-proclaimed version of what a Super Saiyan was. He just knew that, hey, if I need to get strong, this is the edge I got on everybody. This is my trump card. And and I just feel like that's the same thing with Super that I don't like. And it was a little bit towards the end of Dragon Ball Z, but it was tamed a little bit, which was everybody got a Super Saiyan card, right? Everybody's Super Saiyan. Everybody could transform. There's no stress. There's no pain. There's no theatrics. There's no compromise. It's just you transform, boom. Yeah, you're Super Saiyan. There's no strain. And another thing is, I don't like the illustration. I do not like the illustration. It's just too cartoonish for me. And I can understand that maybe some of the newer writers of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball just in general were trying to appeal to the younger audience and think that because the older audience is how outgrown watching anime. You feel me? It's just kind of like Toy Story, where Andy grew up and he got to put his toys in the box and give them to the other little kids. But just like the adult version of that person, you feel me? Not to get off topic and jump to Toy Story, but you get the point I'm saying. Is that this is we sometimes want the things that we have to grow up along with us, right? So, not to say that, if you're in your late 20s or early 30s, so on and so forth, that you wouldn't, you're too old to watch certain versions of anime, but I do feel like there was a differentiation between like modern or just regular cartoons and then Japanese illustration. I feel like the lines are blurred. And like I said, it's not just Dragon Ball Super. I do feel like how can I say? Actually, this was the reverse of what happened with that, right? If you look at Naruto, right? The original Naruto was more kid friendly, carefree, and I feel like Shippuden was more serious. You feel me? It aged better, and I think where I feel like the Dragon Ball story got slept on or it just got misdirected was when it went into GT. I feel like if GT was done right, there would have been no purpose for Super. You feel me? I think they felt like GT was somewhat written bad. And I just feel like if you just turn Goku into an adult the entire time, you just wash your hands with Dragon Ball Z. You never have to revisit it again. GT just sits up there and, I know they had all the ins and outs of, it had its own story. And it wasn't the best story that could have been told, but I feel like child Goku really robbed the Dragon Ball fans of really getting the last chapter of what the next generation. I feel like Dragon Ball Super could have been Gohan's story. You feel me? All right, Goku, he's doing his thing, and Gohan, just how like they got Baruto. You feel me? Like just give that next generation of writers and illustration and stuff like that to the next generation of Z fighters and stuff like that. That would have been a good though they say that after the Cell games they were supposed to give it to Gohan after that, but they could have made up a lot. They could have made up for that giving Super to Gohan. But that's my opinion on why I don't respect Dragon Ball Super. You feel me? As the Dragon Ball Z timeline, things of that sort. But I want to know what y'all think. Thanks for watching the video. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm up out of here.